humans, how's it going? It's Shani today here, and welcome back to another Sims video. Welcome back to the channel, and if you're new around here, then where have you been? We've been having a party without you. Jokes aside though, it has been a hot minute since I've made any Sims 4 content, and I thought what better way than, I know I'm wearing a knitted jersey, but this is not a nifty knitting video. This is actually an eco-living video. This is how to make your eco footprint green quick. That is probably when I got the pack and when I started playing the pack, that was immediately the first thing I wanted to know is, okay, how am I gonna get to where I want to be fast? I don't want to do all the other stuff, I just want to get to green status, and then from there I can fiddle with everything else. So this video is going to take you through that. This isn't the cheats video, by the way. There's a separate cheats video that will be available on the channel. English. There will be a separate video on the channel that covers the cheats for this to allow you to make it more industrial or more green or whatever the case is. Before I jump into the video, I do just want to say that I was sent a code by Premier Interactive for the Eco Living Pack. This is not saying that this is a sponsored video. This is not saying that these views and opinions and anything else are paid for. I was simply just sent the pack. So thanks, Premier Interactive. So Eco Lifestyle is one of those packs that bring a new world into your game where you can live and play in. I actually quite like Evergreen Harbor, and I do like the way that of your 3 neighborhoods, when you start off, each of them are in a different stage of their eco footprint. So you do have an industrial area, you have a neutral area, and then you've got your green area. Firstly, just the same with seasons, if you don't want to have the eco footprint affect your gameplay whatsoever, you don't want to go have to save the world and save the planet, and you just want to play the game, then you can head over to your game options and you can just turn the effects off. So you can just turn the enable eco footprint gameplay off, and that will stop the neighborhood effects and any of your actions affecting your green footprint, and it'll just remove that aspect of the game. When you do turn that setting off, obviously you'll see that that little leafy print has disappeared, as well as your neighborhood effects, depending on if it was more green or more industrial. That's completely gone now. So it does take away from it, but I know not everyone plays The Sims the same, and sometimes you want to turn the effects of seasons off. This is the exact same way. The entire premise of this revolves around your community board. Now obviously this is something that has been added with the new pack. It's something that you can either vote from on your community lot. There is, each of the neighborhoods will have one of these community boards, but then you can also vote via your mailbox. So what your voting does is they have brought in community spaces, which will be a separate video entirely, but also your neighborhood action plans, also known as NAPs. Voting only takes place over the weekend from Friday until Sundays, and you want to make sure that you have as much influence and stuff as possible to be able to cast your votes and actually make a difference within your community. Get as many votes for the very specific thing that you want to have changed or modified or appealed or whatever the case is. So there's also an option in the game settings to turn this off, so only you have the power over what does end up happening, because I know some of the NPCs can kind of run amok of things. What you're going to want to do to help your green footprint is you're going to want to vote for the green initiatives. Now that'll obviously allow more plants and allow more like wildlife and all of that other stuff, and basically makes your neighborhood greener. Obviously doing more green inclined activities will also help in the long run, but you're going to want to have to do those green initiatives first. If you want to go the other way and you want to make it a more grungy world, then you just go for modern development. So once you voted for those green initiatives and you start doing more green activities like gardening and planting and recycling and all the other great things, if it would be considered more green IRL, it's probably going to be considered more green in The Sims. So how to keep track of where your footprint currently is while in live mode. At the bottom of your live mode, you will have an indicator and an arrow kind of showing you which direction your footprint is kind of teetering towards. So if it's very industrial, you're going to have it be all the way down in the yellow, and you're going to want to first bring it back to neutral so that everything is kind of like balanced and even out, and then from there you can continue to do your green practices, which will eventually push it over into that green, and that's obviously where you want to try and keep it. But this will start fluctuating. I noticed straight off, I know it's been a while, but it was a little bit fluctuatey in the very beginning, like I want to say week into launch. It did sporadically jump all over the place, and I do feel like that's been fixed, or that's been kind of eased into a little bit more, so it's not too jumpy and you're not suddenly neutral and then green and neutral and then green. The other buildings and lots in your existing neighborhood do contribute to that eco factor. So you'll notice in the neighborhood how my house was a little green, little, hey look, Shani's doing her great thing to improve the environment, but none of my neighbors were. And the quick and easy way just to go do that, especially if you're not necessarily going to be playing with those sims, is to load into their lots and change the exteriors of those buildings and of the lots, both community and residential, to make sure that they're using more green items. So this is something that's been added within the game and can be switched off via the settings I spoke to you about earlier. But there is a rating for, never mind the electricity and the consumption and fireproofing and all of that other stuff, which also came with the free update. There's also points for being more green or more industrial. So there are build buy objects that are gonna allow you to improve their eco footprint of those lots. And those include tiling and floor stuff, roof materials, exterior wall materials, and then as well as, surprisingly enough, windows are also going to affect your green status of your building. In buy mode with your objects, you're going to want to use the things like your solar panels, which have a more green footprint to them, your wind turbines, and then your dew collectors. Anything that's considered more natural and using more natural things in the environment. Whereas your generators, which are going to draw from electricity and fuels and stuff, so like your water generator and your electricity generator, those are going to be more industrial. So once you've changed your neighbors' houses to be more green, the one thing that I did find was you might go back into your neighborhood and see like, okay, but now they're just reading as neutral, even though I've added all of this extra green stuff and I've added so many solar panels to their roofs. Why is it not making a difference? You actually have to go to that lot in live mode and spend a couple of minutes there just for everything to take effect, and suddenly maybe you've done enough and suddenly it'll turn green. But those are the quick fire ways, just to sum that back up, how I found it easiest without cheats to change your eco footprints. It's to make sure that you voted in that green initiative via your community board or via your mailbox. Remember, voting only happens over the weekends. Changing all of your neighbors' houses into more green living lifestyle houses with the different build buy objects that you can implement now. Changing the way your sims interact with the world, being more green, gardening, collecting water, generating electricity from the sun and from the wind and those types of things, and then just generally being a nicer person to the environment, I guess. It's the same in IRL as it is in game. And then very soon you will have a very green neighborhood or a very industrial neighborhood, depending on which way you do want to swing it. There is the option built into the game to switch that off entirely. Yes, it'll remove the aurora and all of those other really nice things, but what can you do? If you don't want to put the work in, you don't get the pretty lights in the sky at night. But that is effectively how to change your eco footprint to green relatively quickly. And that's, if any of you were confused, like I know I was very confused for the first couple of hours of playing the game. But that is the video. Make sure if you are looking for that cheats video, it will be in the description below or in the playlist or wherever else that you need to find yourself on the channel. I make a variety of other help videos for The Sims 4, particularly for console players because I play on a console. But that is going to be the video. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, make sure to leave that like, subscribe if you are new around here. Remember that we all human differently, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Sul.